Hello. In this video, we'll look at the options for saving our image file in Photoshop. And we'll look at two options. One is called a Photoshop PSD file type, and the other is called a JPEG file type. And the main difference between the two of these file types is that a PSD preserves all your layers. So if you save your file as a PSD, all your layers will be there when you next open your file, and you can continue to work on and adjust and edit your image just as you were before with all your layers. If you save your file as a JPEG, all your layers, so the ball, the hamster, and Times Square, and the background layer will all get squashed into one layer. And that would look like this. You can see that all the layers are now one image, and you can no longer individually move the different parts of the image. So I can no longer move the ball or the hamster or Times Square separately from the other parts of the image. Let's look first at how to save as a PSD Photoshop file type. If you go to File, Save As, you'll get your save window and you can enter several options. The only two we're going to look at now is the file name and the format, which is Photoshop. If you're taking my class, name your file your first name, last name, and then the name of the project. In this case, collage. Select your file format. If you click on this box, it'll show you all the different formats in Photoshop, and we're only using JPEG or Photoshop at this time. For now, click on Photoshop, and then click Save. This window may pop up. If you don't want to see it again in the future, click on Don't Show Again, and then hit OK. And this is exactly what your file would look like if you were to close it and reopen it. You would continue to see your layers and you can work on them individually. To save as a JPEG file, you follow the same steps: File, Save As, and change your file type to JPEG. And we're just using the regular JPEG, not JPEG 2000. Same deal, save the file if you're taking my class as first name, last name, and then the name of the project. When you hit save this time, another window will pop up, and this gives you options for the quality of the image. In general, you want to keep the quality at 9 or above. If image file size is not an issue for you, crank it up to 12. It'll be the highest quality image. It will also be a bigger file size and take up more room on your computer. If you want to bump it down to 9, it will still be really good file size and takes up about less than half of the space as a size 12 image. You could also go anywhere in between. Anything below 9, I find that you really start seeing a change in quality, and you could start seeing some pixelation and fragmenting that doesn't look good in the image. So I highly suggest you keep it at 9 or higher. Click OK. And in this case, your image will look like this, and all the layers will be flattened into one layer and no longer editable individually. And that's how you save your files as a PSD or a JPEG in Photoshop. And of important note is that a JPEG file is what you want to use to share your image in any way. So if you're sharing it online, in social media, through email or text, you always want to send that JPEG file. PSD files can be really large and they take up a lot of space on your device and also on anyone's device that you're sending the file to. And many online websites and social media sites will not accept PSD files. So you really need that JPEG file. And that's it. That concludes our series on basic cutting and pasting. I hope you enjoyed it.